everyone and welcome to today's video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about mental health, and I'm going to be discussing the different counselling that I've had, a little kind of update on how I am at the moment as well, because I realised that it was about a year ago now that I made that video where I was talking about how I was really struggling with my mental health, and I kind of just broke down in front of the camera a little bit and just really opened up to you all and let you know exactly how I was feeling. And I mean, I know I wasn't like crying or anything in that video, I don't think, but I really did feel like that was the most vulnerable video that I've ever made, and I was just being so honest, and it felt very, very strange. But the amount of love I got back from that video and the amount of people that needed to hear it and really could relate, it was quite overwhelming. And I feel like what I'm going to talk about in today's video is something that maybe quite a few of you would like to know about. And this is going to be a sponsored video, by the way, but I cannot stress enough how much I genuinely adore this company, and this company is BetterHelp. Now, you may have already heard about them. I already knew about them as well, and I'd watched people already talking about them on YouTube, and I thought it was just such a brilliant way of doing counselling. I'll just explain to you about BetterHelp. I'll let you know exactly what they are and go through my experience with BetterHelp, and also give you an update on how my mental health is doing at the moment. So BetterHelp are an online counselling website. So instead of having to go through the long procedure of trying to finally get a counsellor to see in real life, this is all done online. So what you will do, what happens is with BetterHelp is when you go to their website, you'll be asked to fill out a questionnaire that asks you about the different things in your life, ask you about different questions about how you're coping with day-to-day things, get an understanding of exactly what the main issues are in your life, things that you're particularly struggling with. It may be something to do with relationships, maybe to do with family, and they'll just kind of really see exactly what the main problems are and what you need the most help with. And then from that, you can type out in more detail about exactly what you're going through as well. So you will have the opportunity to do that in your kind of form that you fill out before, and this is a process to match you with a counsellor that is best suited to you. With this, you can also choose to have a counsellor that particularly works with LGBTQ people, or counsellors that are mainly experienced in helping with anxiety, whether you want a counsellor that's religious or non-religious. You can really just let them know from the beginning exactly what you're looking for with a counsellor. So once you've filled out that questionnaire, you'll be matched with a counsellor within 24 hours. And the great thing about what happens when you are matched with a counsellor is that you'll see a photo of them, you'll get their full name, they'll usually have some text about them so you feel like you can get to know them a little bit more. However, you can be as anonymous as you want to be. You don't even have to use your real name, your full name. You can just have a nickname if you really don't want them to know who you are, if you are feeling quite anxious about things like that, because I know people can be like that online. You don't have to have a photo of yourself, but you will know exactly who your counsellor is. They are all professionals, okay? They're all professionals on there, and you will get matched with them. They'll be your counsellor. You can message them as often as you want to, and you can also have things like scheduled chats or over the phone conversations or video calls as well. So it really does depend on what works best for you. You can try out different things and see what works best for you. Another brilliant thing about this is that you don't have to stick with that counsellor if they are not working for you. You can just stay on BetterHelp. There's like a button where you can just say that you want to switch your counsellor, and they'll find you another one that would be more suitable for you. And you can do this as many times as you want to until you find someone that really works for you, which I think is brilliant, because this is all done behind a screen. This isn't done face to face, so there's no awkwardness about saying, this isn't working for me, I'd rather talk to someone else. All you need to do is just click a button and you will be matched with someone else, so you can feel a lot more comfortable doing that. And I just think that this is the way I would do counselling myself. I have never had like face-to-face counselling in my life, just because I've always been too nervous myself to ever reach out and say I really need to speak to a counsellor in person. And the thought of actually going to a session and sitting in front of someone that I don't know and just explaining my kind of life story and all the things that just mess with my head that I feel like anyone else is just not going to understand it. I find it just so terrifying that I'd rather just suffer in silence. But with something like this, I just feel like it's just more accessible. It's just so much more, it's less scary. That's the way I can really describe it. Is you still feel at ease because you know they're a professionally trained counsellor, but you still are in the comfort of your own home. You can switch counsellors if you need to, and when you're just doing messages, like I just mainly like to type out my messages to them and just have a back and forth thing like that. You can just edit whatever you want to say before you finally send it instead of just speaking out loud. When I'm just talking out loud, I forget things I wanted to say. They gave me a free trial for a week. I was matched with a lovely counsellor who was just so helpful, and communication is brilliant, but they always will check up on you, make sure that you're okay, want to know how you're doing, things like that. It was really just nice knowing that there's someone out there that is looking out for you, and all you've had to do is just sign up on a computer and you've got this service. And the service is from $35, which is about £26 a week, which is, let's be honest, a lot cheaper than what you would usually pay for a counsellor face-to-face. And I still feel, like I've already said, I still feel like this particular type of counselling would work better for me because I'm on my laptop all the time. You know, I do my YouTube, so just having my counselling sessions on there as well, it just makes it so much more convenient for me. BetterHelp have helped over 600,000 people already, and they have a lot of online counsellors on there, so don't feel like there's just only a few. There are a lot of people out there, so whatever particular issues you have, like when I think about the issues I have, I highlighted what I needed and they did find someone that was suitable for me. I think another great thing about it as well is that if you don't want to tell anyone that you're talking to a therapist, then doing it through BetterHelp makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to explain to your family. Because you're doing it at home, you don't have to explain to anyone that you're living with or anyone in your close circle that you are going to see a counsellor. You can keep this very, very private if you want to. Now, you must be over 18 to use BetterHelp, I have to say that as well. And BetterHelp are out there to support people that are struggling with different things that are happening in their lives, and to give you the opportunity to talk to a licensed therapist that is actually affordable, and you can choose different ways of communicating with them. You can use BetterHelp on your computer, you can use it on your mobile as well with their app, and I will link BetterHelp down below. It will be the first link in the description, so you can go straight there if you are interested in checking it out. I will let you know, I think I already talked about this before, but I'll mention it again just for the sake of this video. Before BetterHelp, just after that video I made a year ago where I said I was really, really struggling, and at the time I was just in denial and was like, I'm not depressed, I don't have anxiety, I'm just like really, really low. I just kind of came to the realisation that I did need to talk to someone because I just wasn't getting any better, I was just getting worse. And I ended up talking to a doctor at my local surgery, and it was terrifying and it was awkward, and it's their job, I know it's their job, and they see it before and they'll see it again from people that come in and say these things, but I couldn't help but just feel like so nervous. I was sweating. I was sweating, I was muddling my words up. I'd never in my life gone to talk to someone professionally and say that I was having issues with my mental health, and it's something that I would struggle with doing again, and it's not something we should be ashamed of. I'm not saying that at all, but as someone that has struggled with anxiety before, I can't think of anything that brings me more anxiety than talking to a stranger about my anxiety in person. So after I went to see this doctor, I was put in touch with a lady who sent me out a questionnaire to fill in so they could assess exactly whether I have depression or anxiety. I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I was given medication as well to help me with that after being diagnosed, and also having the medication as well. They also suggested me having cognitive behavioural therapy. Now, I did do this online and I did like it. It was nice for referencing. It had some good things that it would teach you each week and really help you get an understanding of why you think the way you do, how you're feeling and why you're feeling it and stuff, and I did find it really helpful. But at the end of it all, I still didn't really feel like I had anyone to actually talk to. I felt like I was getting a lesson, but I didn't really feel like there was anyone I could talk to back to really just pour my heart out and be like, I've had a really rubbish day, just listen to me and listen to all the problems that I have and all the worries that I have in my life. And so even though I did find it really helpful, I, at the end of it all, still felt like it wasn't enough. I still felt like I needed a counsellor, but because I was just too scared to like really talk about that, and the thought of going to someone in person just really scared me, it just never really happened. And so I finished my cognitive behavioural therapy and I let them know that I was doing a lot better. And so that was all like back in January, so that was quite a long time ago. So since then I've had a long time to really just move on with my life and try and just heal from what had happened to me last year, and because a year ago I was in such a dark place, and it was really scary. I just didn't even recognise myself anymore. And I just look back at that video and it just still makes me really upset that that I was that person. But I am doing a lot better now. I am doing a lot better than what I was. Not every day, not every day. It never completely goes away for me, but I am in such a better place than what I was last year, and I'm just really glad I got out of that. And I just want you to all know that it is something that isn't permanent. It's not a permanent state of mind that you will have for the rest of your life. It will feel like that. It felt like that for me, but it won't be. But reaching out to someone, I think, is key into recovery, because once you have the support, it lifts such a weight off your shoulders. It honestly does, because you feel now like you have someone to talk to. You don't feel completely trapped and isolated in how you feel. There is someone there that wants to listen to you, and I think that is just so important. And so if you are someone that particularly struggles with like social anxiety, then I think this BetterHelp is perfect for people that do have a lot of anxiety surrounding talking to people face to face. And like I said, I am so honoured to be sponsored by them. I just want to say a huge thank you to them for sponsoring this video and letting me discuss this to my audience, because I know a lot of you do struggle with mental health issues, and because I get messages about it from you guys quite a bit, and I always just want to say, like, reach out, talk to a counsellor, talk to someone. You just feel like you can be a lot more open with them. You feel like you don't have to hide anything, because you're already very anonymous. They don't know who you are. They just know what you're struggling with and what you need help with, and they are there to help you. And I found my counsellor just so helpful and so understanding and just really lovely. But they have over 2,500 counsellors on there, so 2,500 trained counsellors, so I'm sure you'll find someone that is right for you. It's much more tailored to 21st century people like us that are used to communicating in this kind of way. With the price that it can be from $35 a week, and I just think that is just such a more reasonable price than what you would usually pay for face-to-face therapy, which does work sometimes, doesn't work other times. But with this, if it's not working, you can just instantly just change your counsellor. And I hope you all found this really helpful. Take care, everyone, and just want you to know that if you are struggling with any mental health issues, then talk to someone, let them know how you're feeling, and realise that you are never going to be completely on your own in this. I love you guys. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye everyone.